Hello all, we are going to continue to Omron Plc training today as second video. Before we talked about how can we connect to PLC and how can we upload and download PLC projects from PLC or to PLC, and how can we change the mode of the PLC. So now PLC is stop and programming mode. So let's change it to monitor mode, then continue. So we are going to talk about today IO table and unit setup, then settings, then memory card, then error log, then PLC clock, then memory. Let's start together. First of all, IO table and unit setup. What is IO table and unit setup? If you go there, then you will see our CPU and the other devices is connected to CPU. So now in actual we have one Profibus master unit and one DC input unit and transistor output unit. So first of all, when you started to project in automation project, you will have an inputs and outputs. Maybe you will have IO digital analog or analog digital IO, and you will have Profibus master or device net or other things. So in the reality, for CPU we have unit numbers, or we can say ID of the CPU. So on the CPU unit you will see unit no and node numbers. Node numbers are using for the Ethernet IP. If you have an static IP and if you want to connect Omron PLC via Ethernet, so you need to adjust node numbers. Then in advance we can talk about the node numbers, but today we are going to talk about the unit node. So in the reality I selected unit number 2 on CPU. So in here you will see unit node is selected too. How can we select the unit number? So if you come here, then right click, then you will see change unit node. If you click this, you will see, okay, we can select from 0 to 15. We can adjust the unit numbers. So it is 2, then 2. And on the main rack you will see the empty slots. Then if I put here one more, if I want to put one more device to our PLC, then what can I do? Empty slot, come here, then right click, then add unit. Then you will see basic IO, then communications adapter, then other devices in here. It's all provided in the CX programmer. So basic IO, if you come here, then you will see all of them about the input units, then outputs, then other things. Or if you come communications adapter, then you will see all communication devices in here. If you want to add one more device, then you should select here. For example, let's say we will add one more input unit, then CG1WID 211. Let's say press this, then suddenly it will add to here. So for a moment, if we say okay, verify registered actual IO table, then it will be successful. But if you select check IO table for errors, then you will see this will be okay. Why? Because if it's okay in the PLC, then if there is no error, then you won't get any error messages from the CX programmer. Then if you want to transfer this to PLC, okay, we add one more device here, then we want to send this to PLC, because if I add one more ID here, I mean the one more input or output device in here, if we don't send this to PLC, then if we continue to write program in here, it will not work. So let's send this to PLC. Okay, then it is asking to us the PLC situation will change the program mode or stop mode. Yes, then send this. Okay, it's transferring now. Let's take a look what will happen. It's transferring, then okay, then change the monitor mode. Okay, then verify is failed now. Then okay, IO table okay, but you will see verify registered IO table failed. Why? Because in the reality we didn't add any input card to our PLC group or CPU. Because of this it's failed, so we have a problem in here. Let's delete this one and send again, then transfer, and it's transferring now. It is transferring again. Then okay, then let's take a look once again. Now it's successful, so we can understand from here our IO table is okay or not. Then for a moment it's okay. Then one more thing also in here, very important. If you come here to our CPU unit, then if you right click, press right click, then if you say okay unit setup, then you will see our Ethernet IP or TCP IP settings area. Then if you want to use this PLC with Ethernet connection, then you need to adjust IP address here, subnet mask here, then default gateway in here. And if you want to adjust the clock time or time with your PLC and with reality, then you can select if you have a SNTP server, then you can say okay, get the time information from SNTP server. Then you should enter here IP address, and if there is a differences between time, then you should adjust the time in here. Then okay, after you finished your job and after your settings is adjusted and IP address and other things, then you can send the settings to PLC in here, transfer PC to unit. Then if you say okay, then we will get one message, then it is saying to us PLC is running. So okay, we can stop the PLC and we can change the mode of PLC to stop or program mode in here. Okay, let's change it to program mode. Then now the PLC is stopped, then we have program mode. Then come here again then right click, then unit setup, then you finished your settings adjustment, then PC to unit. Now your settings for server for Ethernet IP or TCP IP, it is transferring to PLC. If you have a static IP and if you want to connect this PLC from Ethernet, then you should adjust these settings. This is really important. Then it is asking to us the PLC will restart. Yes, restart the unit. Then okay, the unit was restarted. Then okay, then close this. So this is our IO table and unit setup, and we can create IO tables. Then we can adjust the unit setups in here. Also, if you want to use serial communication and if you want to create serial communication with your PLC and other devices, then you should come here to settings. What we have in settings, okay, first of all, when PLC is started in the first time or after you powered off, then power on the energy, which conditions or which mode that PLC will start. Then we can say okay, the PLC will start monitor mode or program mode or run mode. You can select these in here. Also you have settings in here, execute process, then you can detect low battery or other errors or error logs. Don't register fall to error log. Then we will talk about the error log in this video also, but you can say okay, don't save anything about the errors. It's all in here. But the first thing in here, the best important thing is here, and serial port. So you can use standard baud rate, then stop bits and parity, then others. Also you can say okay, custom, we are going to adjust this. Then you can select the baud rate, then format, then the mode. The communication modes is host link, then NT-link or RS232C or tool bus or serial gateway. Which one is going to use that, then you can select it in here. And another things is here, not important for a moment. Then you can set some settings for the communication and startup settings in settings section. And memory card, what is the memory card? So we have in the PLC, in the memory cards, then you can see in here program areas, then IO area or IO memory, then parameter area. Then you can see what we have in here and which areas is going to save in the memory or will retain in the memory. But the best things for the memory, in here I will talk about this maybe in 5 minutes later. Then we will see what's going on at that. But for a moment, first thing, the error log. So when PLC is faced a big problem, the fatal error or the error is connected to situation of the PLC, then it will be in here. Okay, we have a problem with the PLC. After you connected to PLC or after you go online, you will see errors in here. For a moment we don't have any error, but if you press error log, then you will see the errors before you connect to this PLC, which errors are existed in the PLC. So you can say, okay, this PLC is stopped because of the IO settings error or CPU bus unit setup or something else. Then you can see the messages about the errors, then other things in here. So this section are really important. Why? Okay, suddenly they told you, okay, we have a problem with the PLC, or while you are working with the PLC is not running very well, or PLC is giving an error. You can check in here, then you can see what is the error or which type error you faced. And if you come here, the Plc Clock, then you will see the computer time and PLC time. Then you can synchronize the time for your PLC, and if you want to set the time, the correct time, as I told you before, IO table and unit setup, you need to synchronize your time. And if you have a server, it is really easy. But if you don't have a server, also you can synchronize your time in here. And the memory section, let's talk about what we have in here. Okay, in Omron Plc we have the areas, the memory areas, CIO areas or timers and counters, then index registers, then data registers, also H areas, then V areas, and also E areas. A lot of area we have in the Omron Plc. Then we can see the areas what we have, which data, for example, what is the data in the CO20, or what is the data in D30, and the bits, the data areas, all of them we can see, we can monitor, and we can say, okay, these areas are used or these areas has a value. But the really important thing is here. First of all, we can monitor these as decimal or binary, or again decimal, and also I believe this is signed decimal. Then okay, this is the monitoring types. But the first thing what you need to focus, let's say, okay, you have one machine and you have a lot of fixed parameters, maybe 100, maybe thousands parameters inside the machine. Then all of them is fixed, or you have very important parameters in the machine, a lot of. Then you can transfer these parameters after your job is finished or after you installed the machine correctly, then machine is running. You can transfer these values from the PLC, then you can save it. Then if you face a problem in advance for PLC, let's say, okay, the electricity is gone and came immediately, then all memory areas are deleted, or something is happened, something is corrupted, then you can easily install these memory areas to PLC. Then machine can continue, machine can run immediately. After all, if you don't have all parameters, all areas or memory areas, then you need to enter all of them one by one. So these areas are really important. These memory areas are really important. You can monitor, you can check Also you can set on and off, or forced on or force off these areas in here. We will talk about what is the differences between on and force on, or what is the meaning of the force. But for a moment, I will stop this video. Then we will talk about in advance the programs section, then function blocks. Then we will start to write some codes. We will try to talk about some instructions in Omron Plc, the important and the best useful instructions for the Omron Plc we are going to talk. Then for a moment, have fun, have a good work. Then let's say see you as soon as possible, guys. Have a good day.